Hello again, everybody. Now while you wait for our third and final review for the Lord of the Rings trilogy, I thought, how about we give you a negative review to look at while you wait. Now you know this book, The Diary of Wimpy Kid. Very clever, very funny book. In fact, in my opinion, I look at it as some very genius comedic literature in a number of ways. But we are not looking at the book today. No. What we are looking at is the horrible adaptation for it, known as the movie of The Diary of Wimpy Kid. It is. Now,
it suck. It's just it's nowhere near as good as the book.
Well,
so much more enjoyable.
I'll essentially, what I think the movie fails at most is what the fans would actually want it to do, is to replicate the humor of the book. Now, I found that while watching it, it was trying to, at times it felt like it didn't really know what type of audience it's trying to please. Was it trying to please the fans of the books, or was it trying to please people, like kids who haven't actually
read any experience with this series?
Not yet. But it fails in both ways, so it just doesn't go all the way in either way, so ultimately neither crowds get what they want, which is, I guess you could say the same thing for many bad movie adaptations of certain successful series. Now, I found that, you could tell the movie was trying its hardest to replicate the humor of the books, but what the humor of the books, it's it's not the key to the humor. It's not so much the actual jokes themselves, but rather the way that they're presented in. You get the fact that it's that tells from the point of an actual diary. It gives it a lot of advantages, a lot of creative advantages to use in many comedic manners. The film, you can tell, just wants to focus on the jokes. It's always trying to throw stuff at you, in your face, oh, that's funny, but you don't really that doesn't work though. You can't replicate the humor of the books when you're okay, they have to simplify some things, I get it, but the thing about the books is that they handle things in a more, not so much realistic, but, ways that, they could actually be relatable in real life, in terms of school experiences.
But in real life...
but, in the movies, yes, I am, because I'm quite angry about this movie. It absolutely took a crap on such a great series of books. Because it's they obviously do the typical thing with having all the kids with complete over-the-top personalities and stuff. As many forms of media show to the kids, oh, this is I'm not saying that it's bad to show that to kids, but back to my point I was bringing, it doesn't know what group it's trying to please. Obviously the fans aren't going to be pleased by that, but that's one of the more minor complaints I have. The humor in the movie, you can tell, like I said many times already, it's trying to capture the humor of the books. It doesn't do it, though. It does not. The books, it knows, it doesn't, it's not so much the jokes themselves, it's the way they're presented. The author, Jeff Kinney, knows how to present them, how to give the payoff at just the right time. Whereas in the movie, it's some of the jokes almost, it's so poorly presented. The jokes themselves aren't that good, but so poorly presented. They almost feel incomplete, not real jokes, just weird events that happen. And, you can tell this is a film that was clearly made just for the money. Doesn't know the humor of the books. Clearly, it tries to, but the one scene that I actually did laugh, I have to admit, is, of course, the scene where they're looking at the video, what's it called? It's Great to Be Me, or it's something like that. From the 80s. Now, I thought that was a clever thing, because, it took jabs at, trends, and I'm not sure if it was the 80s or the 70s, but, it was clever, the way they did it, it's that it worked, it felt like they actually Because the books, you know, they use the fact that they're, not only the fact that they're books, but the fact that they're meant to be taken as a diary to their complete advantage. You know, like they have pictures, like diagrams, stuff, like, you know, even the writing that would represent something of, you know, an actual kid's diary. That's the one scene, though, in the movie that they actually use the fact that they're a movie to their advantage. Because you couldn't actually, like, show the video in the book. So yeah, I will admit the movie does do that once, but why couldn't they have done more of that? Like, it's just using what they have to their advantage, like the book series does. The movies, like, I'm not saying that they changed too much. I'm saying that they didn't change enough. They didn't use the fact that their movies to their advantage enough. That lead kid who plays as Greg Heffley, God, most annoying. One of the most annoying actors I have ever seen in a movie.
I hate that voice of his.
Not just the voice. Not just the voice. Yeah, exactly. But not just the voice though, but the fact that the character itself, you can tell it's like trying to replicate the book as well in that manner, which it should have changed.
I don't understand is he's trying to like
feels like
make everyone feel like the world should be on his side. He's so high on himself.
Well, in the books, it's like he even though he like is relatively high on himself, he's still he seems like a real kid, and he's a clever one at that at times too, because you can tell he kind of like he does play. What makes him a great character in the books is that he's both, you can hate him, but at the same time you can also kind of relate and almost even like him. Find like little qualities in him. In the movies, it's like, they take stuff in the book and they like try to, make it the same in the movie, but it's like, it feels out of character, whereas in the book, it's like, you can see him doing the stuff he does because it's completely in character. It's the way he does things. It's the way he tries to go through this. Where it's in the movie, it feels almost like when he suddenly tries to change reality. It's like, where did that stuff come from? It's like so out of character, so sudden. In the book, you can see
kind of selfish too, just trying to change your own friend just because you want.
Well, in the book, you're supposed to kind of you're supposed to kind of hate him for that, but it's like it felt out of character in the movie. Whereas in the book, you can at least relate to him on that. And, there are many jokes that the movie just totally ruins. It would take too long to go into example.
If you need to fix that kid, why is he the one that everyone likes instead of you? If maybe you're the one that should be fixed.
Okay, stop trying to give criticism to the character.
Shut up.
God. You're supposed to be a bit hateable in the book. I was giving criticism to the way they handled the character. Because, and like I said, aside from that, the voice, even if he was relatable, God, you could have gotten a better kid for it. Jeez. The way that they try to throw all the jokes at the book, the way that the book does in your face, it doesn't work because that doesn't follow the way that they present them in the book. It's like they let you look at it and figure it out. They don't just say, oh, there's the, here's the joke. It feels like it was the movie. It's like trying to throw it in your face. Let's see. Other things, acting, pretty stale for the most part. It's your typical crappy movie, but, little kids might enjoy it. At least little kids who haven't actually read the books. So, take that for what it's worth. Anything else you have to say?
You really just said everything I wanted to say.
Good. Anything else you have to add?
No, you said everything.
Very good.
Glad you brought that up.
Anyways, I guess that's it for this review. Again, a little negative. We've got to have a little negativity before we get to the good stuff. Next time we'll be reviewing Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King, the last movie in Peter Jackson's adaptation of the Lord of the Rings books. Looking forward to doing that review. It's good stuff. Until then, see you then.